look at this guy, Nikita Mazepin. It is widely believed that Nikita Mazepin's entry into Formula One was largely due to his father's financial backing. This led to accusations that he was not a worthy driver and that he was only in F1 because of his money. Is it possible to buy your way into Formula One? Just like Nikita Mazepin, you need to be highly qualified to enter Formula One's routes. In today's video, we are going to uncover this, so grab a cup of coffee. This is going to be a little different, but exciting. Nikita Mazepin is considered the worst driver in Formula One history. Mazepin made a number of mistakes during his time in F1, including spinning out multiple times and causing crashes. He also had difficulty qualifying for races and often finished at the back of the pack. And the major reason? He used his dad's money to buy his way into Formula One. Mazepin's father, Dmitry Mazepin, is a billionaire businessman who is the CEO of Uralkali, a Russian fertilizer company that makes over $100 billion in revenue each year. Right now, the older Mazepin is given $20 million every year so his son can race on the Haas F1 team next to Mick Schumacher. This is in addition to the $10 million per year that Uralkali, Mazepin's fertilizer company, is paying Haas as title sponsor. So this is something that many people believe Mazepin doesn't deserve in the world's most iconic racing series. It raises an important question that, can anyone make their way in Formula One using money? Well, before Formula One, let's talk about other sports first. If you want to be the best player in football, all you have to do is practice, and you can be a street player as well. With the help of a good coach and qualifying for the team, you can be a football player. The money there can just help you get better training and equipment. But if you want to compete in races, you'll need money. Even a decent simulator setup can cost you a few $1,000s, which many young people can't afford, so how does a driver manage to get into Formula One? Let's break it down. First, you'll want to try go-karting. Not the simple ones, I mean the serious kind, called shifter karts, which are regulated by FIA. These are like open-wheel buzz bombs that can go up to 100 miles per hour. They have powerful engines that can rev up to 16,000 RPM, and the races can last up to 24 hours. This is not just for kids, and it comes with a big price tag for adults. Imagine paying around $40,000 to $50,000 or even more every year just to start at the beginner level. All the Formula One drivers begin their journey in karting, and they start much earlier than you might think. The current champion, Lewis Hamilton, started when he was 8 years old. Max Verstappen began at the age of 5, and some start as young as 3. Incredible, right? 3 years old! Let's say you start at the age of 5 and spend 4 years making a name for yourself in the world of karting. That's possibly $200,000 gone. By now, you're about 10 years old and aiming to progress. Every step up the ladder will cost you more than the one before, though sometimes you can skip a step or two. Either way, now is when you should start finding sponsors. By the time you reach the senior karting level, you might spend about $80,000 to $100,000 a year. You'll likely need to compete for at least a couple of years before moving up to the next level, Formula 4. These junior race cars have around 160 horsepower, and the good thing is that they finally resemble Formula 1 cars, not just small karts. The tough news is that there's another increasing cost. The rules aim to keep the entry cost around $125,000 per year, but that doesn't cover everything like travel and places to stay. The most likely thing is that even if you're incredibly talented, the next 5 years will be spent working your way up from Formula 4 to Formula 3 and then to Formula 2. At each level, the costs get much higher. For example, just 1 year in Formula 2 could cost you several $1,000,000, but you're doing all of this in the hopes that you'll perform well enough to catch someone's attention. However, even if you're really good at racing, you still can't drive in Formula 1 right away. There are some challenges you need to overcome first, and money alone won't solve them. To be eligible for Formula 1, you need to be at least 18 years old. That part is pretty straightforward, but there is another requirement. You have to earn at least 40 points from races over a 3-year period in the lower racing levels. If you're super dominant, you might achieve this in just 1 weekend of racing. But that's not so easy, especially when you're comparing Formula 2 to Formula 1. Formula 2 races are much closer, and the winner of one race might not even do well in the next race. Still, getting 40 points in 3 years is a realistic goal. The main challenge to getting started is doing 300 laps in an F1 car, which is not something you can do by yourself. You need a team to invite you and let you use their car with their permission. Alternatively, you can meet all the requirements and pay your way into a driving opportunity. Do you have around $20 million? That might secure you a seat in a lower-level team, and you'll be driving in F1. Many drivers have followed this path over the years. Do you know about many F1 drivers like Sergio Perez, Lance Stroll, Pastor Maldonado, Michael Schumacher, or Niki Lauda? All of them were paid drivers, finding their way into the sport through different means. Quite a few teams have relied on paying drivers to bring in money. In fact, this became a big issue in the 1970s, with teams having as many as 6 to 10 drivers in a season. Some of them only participated in one race, all to help the team raise enough money to survive another season. They changed the rules later on so that you couldn't do this anymore. Even if you took the usual path and didn't pay your way in, you'd still have spent millions and millions just to reach this point, just to get the chance to compete at this high level. This means you had to be pretty wealthy even before you got behind the wheel, and you wouldn't be alone. Drivers like Senna, Clark, and Hill were all well off. This tradition goes back to the first F1 champion, Nino Farina, who inherited the Farina coach building business. They made custom car bodies for brands like Lancias, Fiats, Alfas, and Ferraris, even before Ferrari partnered with Pininfarina. Right from the beginning, F1 has been a playground for the wealthy, for the same reasons that you don't see many less wealthy people in competitive sailing. Rich individuals have always played with expensive toys. While you can buy your way into F1 to some extent, you can't just purchase a championship. As Mazepin has shown, you still need skills. No amount of money can secure you the 40 points needed to qualify. For that, you're going to have to win some races. Not everyone can pull that off. And that's not even considering how physically fit you need to be to compete in Formula 1. Racing in Formula 1 is like doing intense workouts while driving. During the 2-hour, 300-kilometer race, drivers have to deal with extreme dehydration, lose about 3 quarts of body fluids, and endure prolonged exposure to temperatures well above 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And they can lose around 6 pounds of their total body weight. They even have to pee in their racing suits. Plus, they're competing against the other top 19 drivers in the world. And it takes incredible focus to maintain that level of concentration throughout a race. Well, to sum up, pay drivers are common in Formula 1 because teams are always looking for ways to reduce costs. It is estimated that it can cost anywhere from $10 million to $100 million. Lance Stroll, Sergio Perez, and many others are examples of paid drivers, but those guys are really very talented. But you must have the talent and experience to compete at the highest level. They must also be able to pass the FIA's medical and fitness tests. What do you think? Should true talent be able to shine through in Formula 1 regardless of financial backing? Share your views in the comments and check out more videos right here.